Welcome to Arizona Wire Products. In this video, we will provide you with a working knowledge in the operation of our welded wire mesh machine. First, you need to string our finished drawn wire into the mesh machine. Depending on which size of mesh you are making, you will need to select a size. 7/32 inch is used for light mesh production, and 1/4 inch is used for heavy mesh. The mesh production line consists of 7 machines. They all work together to produce the mesh. If any one does not work, or if any one is out of cycle, the whole system won't produce mesh properly. The most complicated machine is the wire straightener. It has its own drive motor run by a VFD or variable frequency drive. It can have the speed varied to match the other machines, but more importantly, the speed needs to match the quality of the wire. If the cross wire is not straight enough when the magazine churns to throw the wire under the welding tips, it will either miss a weld or snag on the feed dogs. The straightness of the cross wire is the key to running the best mesh production. As the wire advances through the machine, it will encounter 5 critical steps. To ensure your finished mesh is made correctly, each one of these points needs to be working properly. The guide bell, the top guide pulley, lower guide pulley, in-feed die, and the exit alignment die. Make sure that at any one of these points, the die does not have any grooves. The grooves will cause the wire to hook and twist, which will jam the machine. The drivetrain has 3 chains driving it. If the chains are loose, you get long and short crosswire, or it will cause the timing to be off. The chains also drive the feed pinch rollers, which pull the wire into the magazine. The timing of the machine is done by the chains, sprockets, and adjustable cam. The chains do not need constant adjusting, but after running many thousands of hours, the chain tensioning arms need to be adjusted to take out the slack in the chain. The cross wire is held under the welding tips by magnetic coils. These can be turned on and off on the control panel. The magnetic coils do short out every so often. When this happens, the fuse in the control cabinet will blow. If this occurs, call the maintenance department to help you lock out and replace the fuse. The mesh shear is used to cut your wire mesh after it has finished the welding process. The most important thing about the shear is the timing of when it cuts. You need to have enough air pressure available to make the cut. You also need enough cubic feet of air in a tank very close to the shear. Make sure you have clean cuts. If the cuts are ragged, that means the shear blades are separating as it cuts. Never ever put your hands in the shear. The winder uses an expanding mandrel to wind the mesh on. As mesh reaches the winder, hook it on the collapsed mandrel. Then expand the mandrel and start winding. You will need to keep jogging the winder as the mesh is made. When the shear cuts the mesh, turn on the winder until the end of the mesh goes through the tensioner. As you grab the mesh, stop the winder and bind the wire to itself. Then collapse the mandrel and pull the roll off the winder. The welding system is all electronic. It either works or you need to call the maintenance department to repair the welding controllers or replace a welding transformer. Another point that can give you weak welds are dirty copper connections. This can be from the bolt-on cables, from the transformer, or more often, the welding cubes are dirty.